AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Overseer University.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What's good, everybody? You are back rocking with your three favorite guys from your favorite podcast, the 3-Man Weave podcast. And we are live with episode 85. I'm your favorite guy, Cannon. But with me, as always, I got my two counterparts.
You already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. Hill go Hill regardless, baby. Let's get it.
And once again, you.
That boy froze on the intro.
On that intro, man, that's a bad look.
That's terrible.
So we are gonna have AJ El Presidente.
I already have AJ El Presidente. Hello,
man.
You good?
Yeah. Go ahead. Introduce yourself again, man, because that was bad.
It's gracious. I am AJ El Presidente. My screen is currently frozen, so I can't see a good goddamn thing.
Oh, man. But go ahead, Hill.
This is terrible.
Nah, you good now.
Just
You good now.
Just go on with the show. Just go on with the show. I see what this is about to be.
I mean, you can catch me and Cannon on all major podcast platforms. 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Want to thank everybody on the YouTube viewership. Want to thank everybody in the 3-Man Weave Facebook group. I want to thank everybody out there, period. All the supporters. We rocking. This is episode 85. We still don't have a damn president. You know, we still don't have a damn president, but I mean, we're going to keep it going.
Stop the count. Stop the count. Stop
Keep
the
on
count.
counting. Keep on counting.
I honestly wish we should stop it. Let's just stop it. And whoever that is in the lead wins. And so there you have it. Biden wins. So we should stop it. It's taking forever, man. This is out of control.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the longest that I think I can remember.
But the craziest part about it is it's gonna be a minute because we gonna get these recounts.
But at least they'll still announce it. They'll announce the winner.
Yeah,
The recount. They do recounts all the time, but they still go ahead and at least go ahead and do their acceptance and be stated as president-elect. So
yeah, they say they increasing Social Security, Secret Service. Well, if Biden the president, they're gonna increase Social Security too, but they're increasing the Secret Service around Biden. So he might give a speech, you know, as late as tonight. But so we might have something by tomorrow for real. Especially with Georgia and Pennsylvania coming through.
anything's still possible, man. I don't want to get my hopes too high, but
That's exactly what I said.
But it's really looking like it. But it's just as we saw how the red can turn into blue. Yeah, it's still possible that the blue can turn into red. So I ain't gonna count my eggs until they say it, man. Until a major network say it.
Nah, 100%. The funniest part about it is you look at most of these like news stations, they all at about like 253. Fox News, the only one at 264.
They're the only ones.
How ironic is that? When I seen
That's
that,
ironic.
I'm like, hey man, something a little fishy up in here.
But the last 18 months or so, they've been diverging from him. Because the writing has been on the wall. This is not brand new. So it's like the whole pandemic has caused people who were standing by him to go. You know, you just can't deny how bad the leadership has been in this country. We've talked about it several times on this podcast.
Oh, 100%. I mean, but at the end of the day, I think the news outlets, they tried to trick us and say, oh, you know, people hate Donald Trump, this and that. It's going to be a landslide. Shit. I'm like, look, man, at the end of the day, I'm prepared for anything.
Yeah.
And this shit was like, it don't look that close because it's 253 to what, 213. But this shit is razor thin. Like if you really think about it, because you think about the small margins of
Yeah, it's
Georgia,
it's a lot of
Pennsylvania.
small margins.
Because
That's a fact.
like had he won Georgia and Pennsylvania, and then Biden had won Nevada and Arizona, but Trump ended up picking, I think it was North Carolina, I think something else. It would have been 270 to like 268.
And this is the most people have ever voted in the United States of America. Just look how many votes are actually pouring in. Like it, and it's crazy. And you know why? Because for the first time, you could mail in and not be absentee. Because to get an absentee ballot in the past, you had to have a legitimate reason. You had to be like a college student living out of state. You had to have proof of that, and then they would send you your absentee ballot, but they wouldn't send it to you locally. But for people to not have to leave their home locally, now you have all the lazy people who would have voted in the past, but just have been too lazy. At least they can say now, I'll just mail mine in. And that's what we're saying.
Absolutely.
A lot of mail-in ballots. They changing the game.
I think we need to figure out now, though. Like I say, now is when the work need to be done, though. It's like,
no, absolutely. And
we definitely got to get our agenda in order. We need to get our, try to find a candidate in order. We need to try to do anything. We need to get our business in order. It can't keep coming 30 days before the election. Be like, look, I got a plan. Here go my photo op.
Yeah.
Like, and then the thing is, we need to get as much energy as we give to this election, we need to give to the midterm elections. And because there's always good, strong candidates that are running locally that we let fall by the wayside because we forget about those midterm elections, and you get people that have the intensity and the want to get into the Senate, or the want to be the attorney general, or the want to be your mayor of your city. But no one pays attention to those, and they don't look at them on the ballot. They're not understanding what they have to do. They just look at the big name and they're like, oh, well, he been the Senate already for 10 years running. I'll vote him again, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So we have to really start listening. And it's just like, if you look at how big AOC, Ilhan Omar, and the rest of the crew, how they really started to get in and start pushing for change. Those four women, they went in and they wasn't playing no games. You hear AOC name all through elections, through the Senate hearings and all of that. It's almost like they fear her because guess what? She ain't no politician. That's what a lot of people was like hyping Donald Trump about. Oh, he's not a politician. It's a difference. No. AOC was coming in as not a politician. She was coming in as one of us. She was a waitress, bartender, living off tips in New York. And she went around, was like, I don't like what's going on, and said, look, I'm knocking on doors. I'm one of y'all. And she went in there and she proved that too. She's going in there trying to get stuff done like she's one of us. Not, you grease my palm, I'll scratch your back. Not, a favor for a favor type thing. It's like, no. This is what the people need. I'm in tune. I'm tapped in with the people, and that's what we need. We need more of that.
And what I will say, Hill, which I'm kind of proud of, ever since I moved back to this area after school, I will say prior to that, the two elections prior to that, I was only voting for president when I was living in Virginia. I'm not gonna cap. I voted for nothing else. But since I moved here, I stayed with my stepmom when I first got up here, and one thing that she was just big on was the other voting elections. And so, I just, make sure I stay registered to vote. And whenever Maryland or PG County actually has voting on the ballot, I make sure I exercise my right. Whether it goes my way or not, I could say, since 2011 and 12, I've been very active locally and nationally. So it's like, you just gotta be involved, man, because the things that are happening, especially locally, will directly impact your taxes that on more a bigger impact than nationally, or your federal taxes. So, and if you own a business or if you work for somebody who owns a business, it's very important. So you need to be paying attention to these things. So you got to get the people in office who are for you, and you cannot do that if you don't vote. You cannot.
Yeah, I hit my homegirl up today, and I was like, keep me posted on, what's going on locally, because most of her political views I align with, and even necessarily if I don't, always agree with her, she can at least educate me enough to I can do my part. And I told her, I'm like, this ain't really your duty to keep me updated, but I'm like, I'm asking for like the first, something you need
Right.
you need that push in the back, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody know I'm not politics ain't my thing. So any assistance that I can get, and I can, say I'm gonna
That's
ask for it,
smart.
and I'm gonna
But
take
that's
it.
smart.
So,
And that's the sign of a brilliant person, of someone who has the wherewithal and this, to understand they know what they don't know. A lot of people just be out here bullshitting and just try and bullshit their way through it. But to actually understand that, look, I don't know this, and to
Look
go
where
out
they
and
got us.
and to go out and ask a question. People will literally sit there and not know something, but be in a room full of people that know it and not get the answer. That's the dumbest shit in the world.
yeah,
No. And your teachers told you there's no dumb question. They always told you that, but it's like,
I mean, I've heard some, but
I hate that shit. I
but
do that every day. Go ahead.
but guess what? Guess what? If you thought it was, but now I know for sure, and I have that knowledge, I can now use that and apply that knowledge to the real world. So it's like it doesn't matter if you thought it was dumb. If it was something that I actually didn't know, and now I know for sure, doesn't matter if you laugh at me, because now I can move accordingly. So it's like you just got to get over that. Y'all, I teach, and so I try to, and I teach young kids, so I'm trying to get them to speak up, especially during this remote environment. And I remember my teachers always telling me that, and I never wanted to listen to it, but it's just important, because that's going to teach you to be a free thinker. You can't be worried about what the next person is thinking about if you don't know something. Like you said, especially if there's people in the room
They do.
who have answers, and you just sit there because you don't want other people to think that you don't know. Look, I don't know, but guess what? I know now. It just take 1 second for me to ask a question, and now I know.
So so we can get off politics before we move on. I just want to say, look, can everyone go on to Twitter, if you have Twitter, and search Tommy Tuberville? Because they are killing Tommy Tuberville right now. He just won the Senate race in Alabama. Alabama is always going Alabama, of course. But he's talking about the voter fraud that Trump is trying to talk about, and he started talking about it in football terms. Let me tell you, boy, look, I ain't gonna ruin it for y'all. Look, just go out there and read that, because it's some doozies on Twitter. But we are halfway through the NFL football season, man. Let's get some of y'all mid-season awards. I'm gonna put y'all on the spot.
On the spot. Let's go through the awards then.
Let's go through the awards. Right now, we gonna say the best for last. We're gonna do the MVP last. But we all had an idea who would be the comeback player of the year. Who y'all think the comeback player of the year is so far?
Who was we saying at first? Remind me.
Well,
I said Big Ben.
Yeah, I believe you and I said Cam, and it looks like
we did. Yeah.
So I think it's
definitely Big Ben right now.
It's got to be Big Ben, and I think Peg Leg Smith gonna come in second, just because he got on the field and took a sack. Like he got hit.
But nah, he took Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald said that motherfucking leg strong.
He should win off that alone right there.
Exactly.
For his kids can be proud of that and forever understand the meaning of not giving up. So
yeah, that's definitely a good motivational tool right there.
I respect it.
So who's the biggest disappointment this season? That ain't no real award, but I want to know who the biggest disappointment is of the season.
Can I go out on a limb? And there's a lot of people that might kill me for this, but I'm gonna say so far through the first half, Bill Belichick. We got so much talk about how he's the reason that Tom Brady's the GOAT, but Tom Brady is making adjustments and doing what's necessary in Tampa, looking like Tom to me. You know what I mean? Of course, he's 43. He's lost the arm strength, but his intelligence is still there, minus the fourth down blunder. But other than that, but Bill Belichick is scrambling. And I know you don't have the talent always, but it's looking like you heavily relied on Tom Brady to get you over the hump a lot of these years.
But see, I can't agree with you there because what Belichick said in his post game, that shit was real. Like, for one, they top safety, top linebacker, top tackle, and like 5 other players that were starters all opted out. And he did say, "Look, hey, we sold out for this. We sold out the last 5 years. Is what we always do."
Do they opt out if Tom is there though?
Probably. Shit, it's still COVID.
They know what time they got a chance. They've always had a chance.
Where did we get next man up from?
100.
Belichick.
100%.
So we're not gonna give him a pass. And I said this, and I got killed after the draft. I said, everybody, oh, Belichick. I wasn't sold on the draft. I'm like, come on now, his last couple of drafts ain't been up to par. We got to start giving him some criticism. Oh, everybody, it's Belichick I trust and Belichick I trust. I'm like, listen here, ain't nobody exempt for some criticism. We're not giving y'all a lifetime achievement award, and he out 100%. Here looking funny in the light. This offense ain't clicking. You still ain't Brady. You could have bought some wide receiver. You could have bought somebody. I ain't saying they had to be big money wide receiver, but you could have got somebody that had a role. Somebody can run. It's some people out there that can just run 4-3. They can just can't do nothing else but run 4-3. You ain't got
I thought they was gonna try and get John Ross from us, to be quite honest, because that's something that they needed.
But let me give you some Belichick history. Prior to Tom Brady, he only won under Parcells. He never won as a head coach. Was just a regular head coach. Got with Brady, took it to the next level. Without Brady, and that's why I said through the first half of the season, he's my biggest disappointment, because I expect better, because you
100%. But I won't forget also that he went 11-5 with Matt Castle.
No, but you had during that time, Matt Castle was under Brady. He knew the game plan. Y'all were able to do that, but you weren't able to do that this time. But that's my thing. You had a whole off season to get ready for this. So I can't give you the pass.
He also went 4-0 the year Brady got suspended with 2 different quarterbacks.
And my thing is, when Brady had his most success, you can say, Bill never had success without Brady, but also Brady always had a top tier defense under Bill. And once again, like I said, your top safety opted out, your top linebacker opted out, and you have a whole bunch of other missing pieces. So I'm not going to just crush Bill the very first season that he doesn't.
I'm not crushing him.
100%.
You said first half disappointment. So I'm just saying I'm disappointed.
I 100%. But I gotta push back.
I respect it. I said prior to me making that statement, I might get killed for it.
Hill.
What?
You agree that that's your biggest disappointment throughout the first half?
I mean, it's easy for me to say that Dallas Cowboys like my main.
Oh yeah.
But that's I mean, yeah, it's big. It's big disappointment. I'm not gonna go no further than I mean, you know what? I'm gonna say the biggest disappointment is Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trending down though. Even last year,
but you could definitely say that because of the hype.
But he's a big disappointment because the level of regression.
Yeah,
one play in particular, he just rolled out. I know it was last week. He just rolled out and he just sat there.
Like,
and I'm like, bro, you can at least throw it away. You could do anything, and he sat there and he got hit, and it was a sack fumble, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Yeah,
like this ain't it, like I said,
even trash quarterbacks don't do that.
I've had my criticism about Carson Wentz, but right now he looking like this looking god awful. and this ain't what you supposed to be. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. He doesn't have his offensive line. I get it. It's gonna affect you. But that's it. Like I say, don't come at me with all they praised him last year. Oh, he made it to the playoff, and you know, he took the janitors to the playoff. And then once again, we always neglect that he just beat the NFC East last year to get to the playoff. Mm-hmm. But y'all keep telling me it's the worst division in football. So which one is it? We're gonna praise him for beating the NFC East, or we're gonna kill him for, which one is it? I'm disappointed in him. Even if he don't have to look this bad. That's all I'm saying. He really doesn't have to look this bad because he's doing way too much. Like, I just don't.
He just won't throw the ball. Just throw the ball.
I mean, he's throwing the ball to other teams.
He's creating a lot of sacks. I know the offensive line is not there, but I'm watching. These are self-inflicted sacks. These are not. Yeah. I seen him drop back, get to the top of his drop, and have time to scan, and then roll out and do a spin or a duck under. If you have that much time, you could have threw it away.
But Candy, that's what made him hot. He made a lot of them plays that worked for him. That's what made it hot.
And those plays have to come sparingly. You have to understand that this is the NFL. When you see that, you are causing sacks week after week in the film room. You gotta see this. You have to see it.
It's crazy. I mean, you would think you would see it, but like I said, that same film that he was putting on film, he was doing, and it was working. So it's like.
And as a head coach, Doug Peterson has to say, listen, if you continue to do this, I'm going to pull you. I have to. Hey. You have to just make the best decision. I'm not asking you to win the game or be perfect. I do want you to win the game, but I understand that we're injured and all of that, but I need you to be productive. And you are being counterproductive with a lot of the things that you're doing. And that's what I don't need. And if you're going to do that, I got to bench you.
Yeah, I just think that the reason why I think Daniel Jones and Carson Wentz are surviving the way that they are surviving is the like you said, Hill, it's the division. Because even with that shitty ass play that they're getting out of them, it's almost like we still in this shit. Like what? There's still a chance,
and they are
could go 6-10 and win this division.
Who your disappointment though? Because we got some things to talk about in this chat.
My biggest
chat boom.
Okay, so it ain't gonna necessarily seem like a disappointment, but my biggest disappointment is the New York Jets front office. Why the hell you ain't fired Adam Gase yet? Like, get him the fuck out of here, man. Like, it's over. We understand. Please, look, move on. You gotta just move on and see if the team rally around, the interim head coach and be like, hey, we finally got him up out of here. Let's do something because he done got rid of all the other talent. Let's put some good film on, out there. So if a new coach come in and he don't on us, we got good film out there. We can land somewhere else. Sam Darnold might be like, shit, I might need to show up and show out so I can go somewhere else.
You need to solidify the number one pick. You gotta solidify the. You don't want to mess this up. You don't want to mess this up. If Trevor Lawrence is who you think he is, you need to solidify getting that number one pick. It's gonna be a whole new culture regardless of the fact. It's gonna be like I said. You're gonna hope to get a whole new all season. You got a whole slew of draft picks. You're gonna bring in a whole bunch of new players. You have a whole bunch of cap space. You're gonna bring a whole bunch of players in. It's gonna be a whole lot of changes need to be made. But first thing first, you need to solidify this number one overall draft pick, and you can't do that by trying to get better. I'm sorry. I it's taking. It is what it is. You got. That's the only reason you got a job.
I understand.
But I do, as far as the comments go in the chat, I want to say I do agree with Sean Hurt. as far as Mike Thomas.
I want to wait for that.
He has been a big disappointment, and also I agree with Chris Brooks as far as Houston, especially when I think of Houston, I think pre D Hop trade, Houston had pieces, man, and it's just like Bill O'Brien. I know he's gone, but it's like he tore that whole thing down, man. And I felt like had he stayed the course and didn't abandon his own ship, which is who abandons their own ship. But anyway, he abandoned his own ship, and look at the predicament that they're in. So it's like
Miami got a top 5 pick right now because of Houston, and that's because of Bill O'Brien. So you can't even rebuild right with being trash. You just trash. They are definitely a disappointment. The only plea that I'm going to give the Texans is their schedule starting out. I don't give a damn if they had D-Hop, they might have lost the first 3-4 games, to be quite honest.
Yeah, they had to go against like the toughest of tough.
They had a tough ass schedule, but whoa!
They still played themselves. So it's
exactly.
like
100%.
I said that was the only plea.
I'm with you.
But I'm with Chris and I'm with you. They are a disappointment because, like I said, their division ain't that tough. That
It's really just like, I mean, the Colts and the Texans. I mean, the Titans.
like you had a chance.
I mean,
and you've been on top of the division for a while. Like, you had some pieces that you could have got some things together. They are a disappointment. Don't get it twisted. I just had a little plea for them. Just a little.
Because the Titans might have got exposed too for not being real. Ain't that right, Ross?
He in here.
But
let's
why?
Go back to this.
But what is Ross talking about with the Giants? Who are they supposed to start?
Because he said because AJ said Daniel Jones. They
definitely don't have nobody else.
So Mike Thomas has been your disappointment, Sean. I get it because he's been injured. What are you disappointed in? You disappointed in your fantasy team, or you really disappointed in real life? That's what I really want to actually know because he's been injured.
Yeah,
has he been injured? I think he's been healthy the last 3 to 4 weeks.
I think it was the last week or maybe
it started
2
with that fight. And I don't think he's been injured since the fight, honestly.
We've just seen that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson be getting his ass whooped by a whole bunch of people because Williams just had to whoop on him. So obviously it looked like Mike Thomas might have had a reason to put the pause on him. Like, hey, like you just be talking a little bit too much shit, and I'm Mike Thomas. I'm gonna put the beats on you. I don't know.
But he had an ankle injury. He had an ankle injury.
Then you re-injured yourself fighting.
Hamstring. No, he had a hamstring.
Hamstring.
They not about to sit here and not play this man. Let's be honest. They're not about to sit here and not play him. So
especially when you're in the same division with the Bucks. If he's good to go. I think that suspension was kind of like a little bit tongue in cheek to send a message and to be like, I mean, you hurt anyway, so it's not really like we gonna rush you out there. But if he was 100% healthy, and you know how hamstrings go, you play on that thing at 85%. Next thing you know, you back on IR because that thing didn't pop.
Plus, if we think about the Saints, they always started off hot and they took a little, decline towards the end of the season. It seemed like every year. So
yeah,
they need to be hot when it need to be time, and they're gonna be hot when they get it. And they've still been winning. Yeah. So it's like I'm definitely believing that he definitely truly does have a real injury, and it's not this diva that they're trying to make him seem out to be because he don't even really talk. So it's like
this is like the most weird wide receiver era ever because you got a whole bunch of wide receivers in here that be like the star receivers that don't really talk too much. I mean, we just started kind of hearing from DK a little bit. Devontae's kind of talking, but I really can't tell you what they sound like because it ain't like they always in front of the screens and stuff like that. It ain't like we got the TOs, Chad Johnsons and stuff like that. I think it kind of started with Megatron and AJ Green. They were just like, look, we just gonna come out here and ball on you.
I ain't heard Devontae Adams say nothing. I ain't heard a sound bite. And the only reason I heard DK because they had him mic'd up the other day on Instagram.
That was it. That was the first time I heard him. So.
I ain't heard nothing.
And can we stop the DK and Megatron comparisons just just for a little bit. I know he has the measurables, but let's just chill on the comparisons for just a little bit.
He's way different than Megatron to me anyway. Most of his catches are over the shoulder. He doesn't. Megatron's did a lot of box out catches. That was his specialty. So it's like they're different guys. DK can really get behind people, man. He can run routes and burn. And that's his specialty.
I really see a modern day T.O. in DK.
Like, he is kind of like a T.O. because he's hard to tackle after the catch because he's going fast, and two, like he's built almost kind of like a T.O. To your point, Hill. And so I don't see the Megatron at all, but he's definitely a threat. And this is what I saw in him coming out of college. If y'all remember, I was very high on him. Y'all told me I was bugging, and look at him.
I told you was bugging.
But yeah, this also, what I will also say is here for rookies, it all depends on where you land.
That's a fact.
Because if you're an elite receiver, but you just end up with somewhere with a super trash quarterback, you may never pan out, and that may lead you to being a journeyman for the rest of your career. Instead of DK ended up with a potential MVP for the season, since we were talking about awards.
And that's why I really think DeAndre Hopkins need to get more credit than what he deserves, than what he's getting, because he got to top 5 with Brock Osweiler throwing him the ball, with TJ Yates throwing him the ball. Like, let's not forget this. Like Nuke was out there getting busy with me throwing him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got a quarterback, it was like, oh, like it's real.
Yeah.
And so I think he needs a lot more credit than what he gets. And I'm like, I think people get it confused when you say someone's underrated. You're saying that they're not good, or if you're saying someone's overrated, you're saying that they're not good. No, he can be good and still be underrated for the value that he brings. And you started to see that when he got a quarterback.
I think I think DeAndre Hopkins is definitely getting his just due now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was talking about then.
But he was because, like I said, he's been in the conversation, top 3 for a while anyway. And when they send him this trade, it's like solidified it, like, because he's leading the league in receiving. So it's like, it's definitely, it's him. It ain't nobody else making DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins.
But also, like Hill used to always point out, it's the drop factor with him too. It's like has seasons with 0 drops. Then his other seasons are like 2 or 3 drops, and people get their wide receivers that have 2 or 3 drops a game.
Yeah.
And they start in the NFL, so go figure.
And then it's like, it's not that and you think about it, to not have any drops for a whole season.
That's
and it's
not
like you're not like a slot receiver where you're just getting quick, whip routes or quick slants and stuff like that. You're getting deep ends, you're getting post routes, you're getting go routes, and so you're getting 10 catches off of 13 targets, and you catching all of the catchable balls. So
the post is the setup. Like almost every defense in the NFL, if played properly, has someone waiting on the post. Almost it's like they never. It's like unless someone plays up to if you got Troy Apaki, he might come up too far and get burnt on the post. But the defense was designed to at least be aware of the post. So it's like, but it's like when you can go out and go into, most of the time, even if you're on the corner, like you said, he's a number 1. He's on that post route. He's going to take the corner, and he's going to run into the safety when he goes into that post route. And that route that year that he had 0 drops, they showed his highlight reel. He took a lot of big hits and still reeled in catches that year, which is just ridiculous. For his catching traffic is ridiculous. And he, like you said, he just don't drop nothing. He catch everything. So he's done it with TJ Yates. he's doing it with Kyler Murray. He did it with Deshaun Watson. We saw how Deshaun Watson struggled the first 3 games without Hopkins. Mm-hmm. He struggled. We never seen him look like that since college.
Shit, ain't like college either.
Yeah. So
no, that's what I'm saying. Like even since college, like we've never seen him look like that.
Oh yeah.
AJ, we gonna finish going through this award list, mid-season award list, or
I mean, we can. It's up to you.
I slid my MVP in there.
I know you did. We supposed to say that one for last.
Yeah, it's because I'm about to say it's a slow news week, so I'm just trying to give us something to talk about. So what I say, so we done went through big comeback player of the year, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment, defensive player of the year. Who y'all got?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one because I don't know if I want to go secondary. I don't know if I want to go up front. Man,
Because I'm gonna be biased.
what's the bias for the Bengals? You going with a Bengals player?
Yeah.
For what is this award?
Yeah, what's this award again?
Defensive player of the year.
And you gonna go with a Bengal?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. Go ahead. Tell
Jesse
me.
Bates. Jesse Bates. I look like before the season. We did our hot takes.
Jesse. I like Jesse.
We did our hot takes,
I
and I said he would be he would be the best safety in the league. He make an All-Pro team. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to go Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, and
I want to say Aaron Donald, but I just don't want to because that's what Sean wants to hear.
Exactly. look.
That's why I didn't want to say mine, but it's like it probably is him, but that's why I was thinking about going secondary.
It's definitely Aaron. It's definitely Aaron Donald, man. Because I just think, regardless, you put him on the field, he a game record. And what we was talking about in our private
Jalen Ramsey, man. I'm going Jalen Ramsey.
I think the way that they're utilizing him now in this defense is great. You putting him in that kind of in that slot role where you can allow him to cover, but you can still put him close to the line because he's a safety corner linebacker.
And he's a for sure tackler.
Because he gonna come up and hit you. It's a reason why Golden Tate didn't want the smoke for real. Because he like, look, hey, you left my sister and you left me on the ground. Like you just have no regard for human life apparently because you just don't care who you gonna hit. And so I think the way that they deploy him in that defense is amazing. And I mean, of course, like I said, he comes from DBU, so it's only right.
It's only right. But that's crazy because I would have went both of my players would have came from the Rams for defensive player of the year, which is wild.
Nah, I'm good. I think I'll give it I'm gonna show some love. I want to show some love to Fred Warner.
Yeah.
He balling.
He definitely putting himself in that conversation. But the record is just probably not gonna give him the recognition that he needs to right now.
Yeah.
And neither is Jesse Bates. Neither is Jesse Bates.
Yeah, that's why
I know. No, 100%. But the reason why I don't like some of these awards is because if you just saying I'm the defensive player of the year, I'm not talking about the rest of my defense or the offense. I'm not talking about the rest of my offense.
If you're the defensive player of the year, AJ, then the rest of your team should be at least solid. You feel me? There's no way that you are not the defensive player of the year, but y'all are just giving up touchdowns galore. Why you think London Fletcher was never defensive player of the year? Because
it's like kick you out.
No, he was PFF number one corner.
No, I know, but we literally just was talking about.
No, he still is. He's playing at a high level. Way better than we thought when he was on the free agent market.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I've been impressed. I tell you, he was like, he ain't never did this in Carolina. I'm like, this is different.
He's been a bright spot for the Giants, and that's for sure.
I like that Devin White pick, Sean.
I was going to say Devin White too before I said Fred Warner. So, shouts out to Sean.
Fuck the Rams though.
Yeah.
Offensive player of the year, who y'all got? I don't think it should take this long. It should be Russell Wilson. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, but that's my MVP.
Yeah, so I wanted, and that's what I was thinking, but I want to try to pick somebody else. So
Alvin Kamara.
I can respect that. I can definitely respect that.
Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I just don't want to pick a quarterback because I know MVP.
MVP is definitely gonna be a quarterback award. Yeah.
I can't argue with Kamara. That's a good pick.
You definitely can't argue Kamara. I think with the way that the season played out, I think it's gonna be a quarterback. I think they might split it. I think offensive player of the year might go to one quarterback and then MVP go to another quarterback or something like that. Because you got a couple quarterbacks that's still out here balling. All like you got Russ, and we saying Russ is in the MVP. You got Aaron Rodgers who's still out here, slanging that shit. Like I still be amazed at some of the throws that he makes on the field. Like watching that game last night. That deep ball over the shoulder to Devontae.
That was nice.
I literally was just like, oh my God, like that was perfect. And he throws the deep ball effortlessly. Like it like remember when like Michael Vick used to just look like he was throwing the ball, he was flicking his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Like you watch like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, it was something that he kind of picked up in the
He got a laser. He's always had a laser.
But it's something that Aaron Rodgers picked up in the McCarthy system. Like when he throws, his feet aren't necessarily on the ground.
Because
it helps him for those lower leg injuries. And he just kind of like uses all torque and just gets out there. Like,
it's all torque.
Like, how
he got a cannon. And when you have a cannon, you don't necessarily have to have your feet set. You can do those things. But Dalvin Cook is definitely balling. Last week definitely helped propel him.
He got to stay healthy.
He do got to stay healthy.
If he stay healthy, he definitely in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But they not winning though.
Yeah, that's another thing. They definitely not winning.
From Brett Favre.
But that's what I was talking about, Cannon. I was saying like that's that McCarthy system. Like that was something that they learned in that.
But it's also, but it goes back to my theory as well. So it's like two things can be right. Brett Favre had what? A cannon. Both of these people have cannons. They are one of the few. I've never seen nobody. I've only seen Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers put a ball like through a window and like make people collide. Like they're the only two that I've really seen like really squeeze that window that should have been picked off.
But sometimes Brett Favre, he'll throw it at the side of the wall and think it was a window.
Hey, he got burnt a lot of times, but what I'm saying is that ability allowed Brett Favre to make throws from a lot of different platforms, and it allows Aaron Rodgers to do the same thing. And Peyton Manning said one of the best attributes a quarterback can have is laser rocket arm, and the ones who have it, they can do those things like throw off the back foot and still be successful.
And I'm gonna get to that in a later category, actually. So we did. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
We did offense and defensive player of the year, right?
Yeah.
So now your defensive rookie of the year. I'm gonna jump in and say Antoine Whitfield Jr. out in Tampa.
Boy, that boy looking like a myth.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there looking like it.
I wanted him in Dallas, but
yeah, I feel you. He was out. He out there. He out there looking like it. And this is my runner up right here, Patrick Queen.
Yeah,
Patrick Queen out there getting it. And then I think Jeremy Chin out there. I think Jeremy Chin out there balling too. Like, and how they're using them is like how they're using Jeremy Chin is how Arizona should be using Isaiah Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
You letting him have his versatility.
But Isaiah Simmons is being solid, and Chase Young is also being solid. So,
but once again, Chase Young being hurt.
Yeah, a couple games, but I'm just talking about when he been in there. And
he looked like he went in there.
And Simmons been solid too. Simmons been solid. It's not like he's just the other team is just abusing him and doing that. He's been making plays.
But what did I tell you before the draft?
About Simmons? Yeah. About Simmons?
When you sometimes
if they make him play one. Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes being versatile is a detriment. Because sometimes these defensive coordinators don't be knowing what to do with you.
And that's sad.
And that's why teams that don't know what to do with you should leave you the fuck alone.
Because I wouldn't know exactly.
They literally said he's gonna come in here and play linebacker. What? No.
He can. I would let him be my middle linebacker if you wanted him to be linebacker. I would let him have free reign to do whatever he wanted. I would say playoff instincts, bro. And I would let him do that. Or I would put him at safety.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think he would be better used as, someone who could have a little bit more freedom in their positions and be used in some mismatches. Put him on, as a safety, but then you have another linebacker in. So it looks like you basically playing with one safety and 4 linebackers or whatever, 3 linebackers, but you in nickel. You know what I mean? So to give yourself a little bit more freedom instead of just saying, here, you're my middle linebacker, play middle linebacker. This is your assignment.
We all got it. They got time.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, you tired of him?
I am.
Nah, I feel you, bro. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Who you got?
CeeDee Lamb.
I respect it. I respect that.
He would have ran away with it if we had our damn quarterback. Any quarterback.
Kenny? Nah, I feel you. It's at the coochie. This one stumping you, Cannon. Shit.
I'm just trying to think what other offensive rookies that I liked.
This would be a good defensive coordinator candidate too, but Buda Baker.
Oh yeah, Buda Baker been balling.
Yeah. Well, Cannon, why you think I'm going Justin Herbert?
See, see, I wasn't even thinking about him, but he's cooking. He's cooking as a rookie.
Over Burrow?
Over Burrow, and the reason why
I'm going Burrow.
Here's the reason why I'm going Justin Herbert over Burrow is because Justin Herbert is doing some of the things that are going to get a lot of the highlights. He's throwing the deep balls. He's throwing those. He's making those throws that make you look like, God damn, how did he complete that? He's having that 60-yard bomb.
Oh, he's cooking.
And he's cooking. And he has 15 TDs, got 5 picks, the same amount as Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got 11 TDs. So, and that also has to deal with kind of like, the team and the team played and stuff like that. So, that's all. I
spoke about that earlier.
Like, Joe Burrow is efficient. Joe Burrow is intermediate. He hasn't really been getting the ball deep, but it's also kind of the weapons that we have. We don't necessarily have somebody we don't have anybody that's really going to stretch the field that we utilize. So if you look at the numbers, Joe Burrow is top 3 in, intermediate passes. But, just I think when it comes to these awards, doing the highlight stuff is really what's going to put you in to get this award. And that's why I think Justin Herbert's going to get it.
And they keep losing.
Yeah.
And they keep
losing too.
But that's why I didn't understand why you didn't go with your guy. Because I'm sitting there, if they lose,
the big play.
And I get it. Be objective. I'm not telling you.
The reason why I'm saying is because I think Justin Herbert he has more highlights than Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow has looked better, but he has more highlights.
But they also just letting it fly. They letting it fly out there on the West Coast, man.
Go Chargers, go.
I
mean, like you said, it's a toss-up. It's
definitely a toss-up.
And that's why it's a mid-season award right now that we're doing because
this last half is going to decide it. But I think it's like, I know you said CD, and so I think
it's going to be hard for CD to have it.
If quarterbacks are doing anything, I think it's going to be a quarterback award, just because of course, they overvalue quarterbacks. I don't say overvalue quarterbacks, but when it comes to those awards, they're going to always get it. And right now, Joe Burrow's on pace to break the rookie passing record. Justin Herbert's on pace to break the rookie touchdown record. So if one of those happen, they're going to get it. But a dark horse, I think Chase Claypool is in that as well. That rookie ranking. And I think it just like you said with CD, he still has his quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's looking like he's about to take over as kind of that, that piece in Pittsburgh. And they always
but Deontay Johnson comes back. Every time he comes back, it seems like he just takes away from Chase Claypool for me.
Yeah, but I still think with the way that they throw that football around, he gonna get his numbers. And like I said, and like I was telling you, he played the Cowboys and the Bengals back to back. That's going to be.
They win the award next week.
I'm about to say that 2 weeks might be a doozy. He might get 8 touchdowns in a 2-week span. You dig what I'm saying?
He gonna eat. He gonna eat Sunday.
Oh,
21.
Think it's Thanksgiving. Goddamn it.
21 already. 21-0. Once they got off that plane, baby. Don't let Philly mess your head up and think this defense figured it out. It's 21-0 already off the plane. They ain't even boarded yet, and there's already 21-0. You can book it.
You can book that one.
Call parlay and go ahead and get the bet the over or whatever. They gonna run this scoreboard up. They run it back, Turbo.
But yeah,
Don't get ugly.
that's my coach of the year though. While we in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin.
I think it's not even close, to be quite honest.
A lot of people thought that, you know, the Rooneys will part ways with Mike Tomlin a year ago, 2 years ago. Things were looking shady. But the Rooneys stayed true to who they are. They've only had 3 coaches in my lifetime.
And they
only had in my lifetime, and I don't even think Chuck Noll was a coach in my lifetime. I don't know. But as far back as I can remember,
you was in high school?
It was Bill Cowher. I remember Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin, and that's it. So it's like they stay with their coaches, so their coaches are going to have downtime, but they're also going to have the good times too. And I think Mike Tomlin's trending back towards getting the Steelers where they want to be. The only thing that I'm worried about is Big Ben's age and his history with injuries. Scares me about them going forward. So
I hate them so much.
Yeah, but I think it's a clear cut. It's clear cut coach of the year with him.
All right, so moving on.
Nah, go ahead and say your piece, man.
Yeah,
get that man his flowers.
No head.
The MVP. Who you got?
I got Russell Wilson.
I got Big Russ, man.
Let him cook. That was that's across the board there, because I really don't see anybody else who's like, especially it's like,
you don't see what?
Well, I'm talking about midseason. I know it's some people in this race. I'm just saying what Russ is doing to have that team looking like that, and to have the defense that he's had to carry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like I think Russ has it right now, and it's still some people who can get it. Like I said, you know, Aaron Rodgers kind of hurt himself with that loss to Tampa, and then that Minnesota game. Brady's still in it. Brady's looking good, but I just think Russ is on another planet right now.
Russ on another planet. Russ got Lockett looking like one of the best, man.
Yeah.
You hear what they talk about?
Lockett and DK?
He got Lockett looking like one of the best, and people calling DK Megatron.
Yeah.
Well, and that just those 3. Russ, DK, and Lockett. But that's a problem coming in if you got to think about defending that. And they throw it a lot, man. Their receivers be having double-digit receptions per game. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, kind of as they should, but they still got that running game too at the end of the day. So they still, and that's the thing when you have a quarterback like Russ, it's almost like it's always going to be open. It's always going to be there.
His decision making is A1.
I really want to know how. Like, I think Russ would be in a different. Like, people would think of Russ differently if they would have just handed the ball to Marshawn. And I really blame Pete Carroll for that. Like, bro,
yeah, you can't.
He like have two. He'd have 2 Super Bowl rings, and he's still playing like this. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a whole bunch of quarterbacks that don't have that second Super Bowl ring.
He could have not thrown a pick. He could have waited one more second, and all he has to do is just wait one more second and then throw the slant. So it's like I think that made Russ into what he is now. He got a Super Bowl, so he could be proud of that. He's one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in modern times. So it's like, bro, I think he's good, but I think that helped him because too much success early could have ruined him. He could have got that second one and then just went downhill.
And this was my point about how you could be defensive player of the year and not be on a good defense. You can't tell me that Bobby Wagner's overrated. That man he does it. He's it. Like
Bobby Wagner has never been overrated.
He does it, bro. Like
Ask our king.
He the one who said it.
Yeah, I'm confused.
What he said, and he over here lying. He over here lying.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know what conversation you had. You might want to ask him again.
Can I ask my hypothetical for y'all?
Go ahead,
please.
Go ahead.
All right. So we got the updated NFL draft order right now.
Yeah.
They got the Jets getting the number 1 pick,
Mhm.
Giants number 2,
Mhm.
Jags number 3, Dolphins at 4,
Damn, the
Cowboys
Dolphins.
at 5, Falcons at 6, Washington is at 7, Chargers at 8, Patriots at 9, Vikings at 10. Okay. With the precedent that's been set that we'll trade a first round quarterback
After already, when you want to get another one.
when you want to get another, with the precedent already been set, my question is, with these teams, okay, you got the Jets, they have a quarterback, first round draft pick quarterback. The Giants have a first round draft pick quarterback. The Washington's in the top 10, they have a first round draft pick quarterback. What is the value of these quarterbacks that they're trying to get rid of? Is my question.
So I think you'll
That's
get.
easy.
I think you can get like a second for. I think somebody will probably give you a second for Darnold, just like they gave away a second for Rosen. I think you probably get a 5th for Dwayne Haskins because
Wouldn't give you a pick for none of those names.
I wouldn't.
None of those names. But I do want to point
either.
this out. Marcus is in the comments also verifying that Hakeem is lying. So it ain't me.
We figured it out. We figured it out. It's Matt.
Yep, there you go. That's what it is. It drives a whole bunch of people hurt.
But we will touch on that. But go ahead, Cannon.
But look, as far as y'all named Darnold and Haskins, if I'm
and Daniel Jones.
And Daniel Jones. Like if I'm not taking those, I'm not trading for these pieces.
I would never trade for Daniel.
What I would do is trade you a 7th or 6th to have them come and be my backup quarterback. But I don't want neither one of those. I don't if I'm rebuilding or restarting and I need a quarterback, why do I want your trash? I might as well at least go and try my own and get my own brand new piece of trash and see if that works. But I don't want your failures to make it work. That can work in some situations, but I'm not going to give you anything for it. I'm probably going to just pick them up on free agency after you let them go because you're not going to get anything. You're not getting nothing from Haskins.
And that's the funny thing. You let it be known, can't get nothing for Haskins, right? Because he has shown you nothing in value that you want to give up for it.
Yeah, there you go. The last part of your statement made it true. Perfect.
So my thing is, let's say, Justin Fields is the next one, and the Giants keep the number 2 pick. What has Daniel Jones shown you in value that you want to trade for him?
Because I'm going to trade for Justin Fields?
But no, because it's going to be perceived differently if Daniel Jones is on the block.
So this is your hypothetical. I see where you're going. But me, and that's why I said I'm not going for neither 3. That's me.
That's why I said you probably get a second for Darnold.
But I do believe if it wasn't me, that like AJ said, you can get a second for Darnold just because they're gonna feel like
he has the talent.
Yeah,
he was with Adam Gapes. He just hasn't tapped into it. That's what I'm gonna say.
I've been using.
They gonna give him a chance.
I use the eye test and I haven't seen it. I look at just the basic things. Do you just drop back on a 3-step drop and then you let it fly when you're supposed to? These are the small things. Your ball placement. We talked about that last week. I don't give a damn who your receiver is. If you're throwing it behind them, yes, Megatron could get that. But then now I got to have Megatron. So if I don't have Megatron, there's no point in me going to get Sam Darnold. I haven't seen the small things that I want from a quarterback. And I feel like if I haven't seen the small things, then guess what? I can go out and just take my chances with whoever is a free agent. If I'm that bad at quarterback, I can just go with whoever's going to be the free agent that year that nobody wants and just say, I'm going with the journeyman or I'm going with a rookie that I pick up on my own. But I'm not picking up reused trash. I'm not.
Look, man. I'm gonna give it to you like this. If they want you to try and succeed, they're gonna do everything they can, and they're gonna give you as many chances as they want. Like Tim Tebow got how many chances? You see what I'm saying? And it was like everybody said, "Oh, we can fix him. We can fix him. We'll fix his throwing motion. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll let him play quarterback." But Lamar Jackson, they didn't want you to play quarterback from the moment you stepped in the league. Remember, he should be a wide receiver. He didn't even play an NFL down yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if they want you to succeed, they're going to give you a shot, and that's why I think Sam Darnold is going to get a chance. Somebody's going to give up some capital for Sam Darnold.
I agree.
I didn't. When the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, we all looked at each other like, "What the fuck? Y'all serious?"
Mm-hmm. Giants fans that we knew were upset. They were not happy with that pick.
And so
they got sold because he just looked better than Eli. But that wasn't hard to do at that time.
And it wasn't hard to do. I was about to say at that time, it's not hard to look better than Eli.
Yeah.
But when you put him on the field, that motherfucker looked like Eli. but he can run. He was like Eli who can run. You see what I'm saying? So and then it's just like what we talk about with Dwayne Haskins. It's like, I mean,
but you know what the funny thing about Danny is? Danny, he put some good stuff on tape, but it's just not consistent. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, I don't want that type of guy coming in. I don't want to have to deal with that type of guy. That's kind of what the Vikings got tricked into. And now they have that type of guy. That guy who can do it sometimes, but not most of the time. And if you're going to pay a guy to be a franchise guy or trade him a second-round pick, then I need a guy that can do it most of the time. I'm sorry. And so I'd rather not pay anything, which is why I'd rather get a journeyman who nobody else wants, who got a chip on his shoulder, or a rookie who I'm not paying nothing for.
But here's my thing. It's what they always get tricked in. Because guess what? Mitchell Trubisky put some good film on tape. Mitchell Trubisky has made some good throws. But then you actually I can't see how you watch all of his tape and be like, okay, yeah. And then you look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold on tape, he can make some good throws, but he will also make some terrible decisions.
Yeah. Josh
Allen. He has all the talent, but he had a 50% completion percentage at Wyoming. Like, come on now. Like I said before, if they want you to succeed, if you look the part, if you 6'4" and got a rocket arm, or if you look like he's a cerebral quarterback and you fit the mold of that drop back passer that the NFL was loving for a while, but now it's
love it too. I love a drop back passer. It's passer, man.
But this is when you pay your coaches, man. Like, this is when your coaches should be able to fix some of these issues that some of these issues are. Like, you should be able to fix something. Like, okay.
You said it. You said it, though.
Do I feel that Sam Darnold can go somewhere else and succeed? Yeah, I do feel that way. I feel that he's been set up. Nate, who's his weapons?
No, 100%. And once again, like I said, he with Gates, man. Get him away from Gates. Look, hey, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, go get Darnold. See what you can do with him out in California.
So I can feel that if somebody feel that, you know what, we give.
I would like that, AJ.
I'm dead ass.
I'm with you.
Daniel Jones, that like you said, he do show some flashes.
He does. He does.
He got it there.
But it's not enough, bro.
But then he show you some things like, God damn it, who did you see?
And that and Hill, we talk about this a lot with sitting those first round draft pick quarterbacks. And that's one of the reasons why I say, hey, sometimes you need to sit their ass. They got the talent, but you need to sit them there and let them work out those negative plays. Let them work through those negative plays. And that's what I'm talking about. You need to sit them down, let them work through those negative plays and be like, okay, good. Now I've learned it in practice. I've seen it and I've built up the repetition. So now it's become second nature that when I'm in the game, I don't make that mistake. Because that's why I thought, Joe Burrow, I was like, to me, it's no question. Once Joe Burrow started doing good in October, I was like, I don't want Tua. I was like, I don't want anything to do with Tua because he looks like he's ready right now. He's, he doesn't make the mistakes. He has the good ball placement. I felt Tua needed time. I felt like Joe Burrow was like ready right now.
Everybody not built to come to Bengals. I'm gonna tell you that.
To answer your question, Sean, who was the guy that the Giants was supposed to pick instead of Jones. We just wanted.
You could have picked a offensive player, offensive lineman.
You didn't have to go quarterback.
You didn't.
They could have waited for their second pick they had in the first round to get Daniel Jones, and
you could have waited until the second round to get Daniel Jones,
and then he'd be viewed very differently. And he wasn't the 6th overall pick.
And it goes back to my point, right? When I say people are putting too much, right? When you know you don't have your for sure guy, don't be fooled into reaching for quarterbacks, which is what the Giants did. They let these Mel Kiper and them tell them that Daniel Jones was the guy. And you got to be able to look at the eye test and say, listen, if I couldn't get the guy that I wanted, then I'm willing to go journeyman this year, because a journeyman is a veteran journeyman quarterback this year can do me better than a rookie who I ain't sold on, who don't have everything that he needs. And I ain't got the time for it in a win now era that we live in. So it's like,
I'm Sean, I'm gonna read you off some names that aren't quarterbacks that went directly after Daniel Jones.
It was
TJ Hawkinson went 8 to Detroit. Devin Bush went 10. Jonah Williams went 11. You had Brian Burns, he went 17. You could have went looked like Noah Fant. And then look, whatchamacallit, Drew Lock went in the second. I mean, he looked good, but guess what? They ended up getting Noah Fant, who looked like something, for Drew Lock.
But at the time,
what's the difference between Daniel Jones and Drew Lock?
Could have got Bridgewater. You see what I'm saying? It's like everybody wants to fall in love with that. You could have made the Bridgewater move last season. When the Saints got him for cheap. But it's like everybody, like you said, AJ, this is to your point, AJ. You said if you fit the mold, they'll make sure you get that opportunity. But you got to be – we talked about decision making as a quarterback. What we want to see in our quarterback. We want to see that in the leaders of our organization too. Don't just fall for the media trap and believe in what they're saying. Go and get somebody. You could have went and got Teddy Bridgewater for a middle of the road deal and have your team looking like something while you look for your quarterback of the future.
And for me personally, if I was running an organization, I wouldn't let my scouts go to these schools and talk to these other scouts, because they start talking to each other and they start thinking alike and they start saying, you know what? I do like him.
But you can't prevent that. You can't prevent that from happening.
Hey, I'm gonna be like, look, hey, bro.
They gotta go to the game.
Hey, my scouts, no, they're gonna go to the game, but y'all gonna social distance from all these other scouts. Y'all ain't finna be sitting next to them, and you ain't gonna come back and tell me that Daniel Jones looks like the next franchise quarterback of the New York Football Giants. Hell no, your ass is gone if you do that. Because that's what I'm saying. I want you to look. I want you to be honest. And to me, like we said when we first started this podcast, bro. Look, the best way to have a successful quarterback is to have successful pieces around him. So if you feel like this guy may not be the most talented quarterback, but he has flashes, you know what? Let me look at this draft and let's see what else I can assess in this draft that I can start building pieces around my team. Because guess what? If you have an offensive line, you can have a below average quarterback and he will still look like something because he has time and he can get to the ball to his weapons. He don't have to, make those snap decisions. If he can't necessarily read the field in 2.5 seconds to get the ball out, you build a good offensive line around him. You get him that extra 0.5 seconds where he can actually go through his reads. You can get him out. Or you can get him a run game.
You do like Bill Walsh did, and you put him into the West Coast offense. And it's like no one wants to run that anymore. It is get the ball out quick to your playmakers. Slants, flare pass. What happened to the flare pass in the NFL? It's completely extinct, right? The flare pass is completely extinct. And I'm trying to tell you, just imagine Teddy throwing that to McCaffrey. I know McCaffrey's injured, but it's like,
be back Sunday.
Just quick, just get it to him. You feel me? And it's like if Daniel Jones could just get it to somebody, like at the beginning of the year when Saquon was healthy, they were not calling any screens. They damn sure weren't calling any flares, and we barely see running backs run wheel routes anymore. We don't see none of that, man. We see
Jason Garrett issue right there.
But hey, it is what it is. So it's like you see the basic stuff. You see that one play where Saquon blocks and then he goes up the middle and then just turns around. That's the one check down that everybody in the NFL does now. It's like it used to be a bunch of running.
That was my biggest issue with Zach Taylor the first couple games. I'm like, bro, why don't I have anyone right here just as an outlet, because he's getting his ass kicked. But I think, and that's one thing that we always say, coaches want to look like geniuses and coaches want to look like I made this guy. No, you about to get fired because you trying to look like a genius. If I'm building a team, I'm doing everything that I can to be like, look, when I get this motherfucker in here, I need to make sure it's right. And so I think that and especially when coaches get the quarterback, it's almost like they stop trying. Like they just start relying on the quarterback. And we've seen it so many times where it's like you feel like you have the quarterback, and it's like it almost looks like you just stop trying. Like Aaron Rodgers, they just haven't drafted a first round wide receiver ever. Deshaun Watson, it was like, what are y'all giving him? Like, and then y'all taking away New. And then, like, what are y'all doing down there? And it's just like I don't understand when it looks like you got your guy. It's almost like they just give up.
Well, we got to talk about the NBA returning. We're setting the restart date December 22nd, and
that's tough.
That's the stupidest.
That's tough.
We know for a fact that money is the motivator.
100%.
Christmas Day games, they need that money and all that. But they are about to erase every single thing that they just did in the bubble right now. You about to bring back, they realize that we still in the pandemic. You about to bring back a regular NBA season.
Is it gonna be regular?
It ain't no damn bubble. And they bring in 50%, 25 to 50% fans in the stands.
Bro, my whole thing is the season just ended October.
And that's my point. For the teams that made it to the conference finals, Denver, the Clippers.
And my whole thing is
these teams are dog tired, bro.
You're trying to stop that, those DMPs. You don't want those DMPs to happen. And so you're trying game season. So you mean to tell me I played all the way until September, October, then you want me to play again in December for 72 games? And in that time period, I was away from my family a lot of that. And now I got to get back on the road. COVID's happening.
Yeah.
Man, I'm taking all the rest days I need. Because if you're LeBron going into year 18 and you're trying to win another title, I'm not about to just get back out on this court a month and a half later just so you can make your money on Christmas.
This is my thing.
If I was LeBron, I would make a statement and say, like, I'd come out.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I must because I was like, I'm not playing Christmas. Y'all can have this Christmas Day game. I ain't playing.
And that's what our guy Joe said in the Facebook group. He said, if LeBron and AD don't play a Christmas Day, y'all about to lose money anyway.
Yeah.
Because ain't anybody watching this. So it really doesn't make no sense. But my thing is, you brought the bubble back. You had the bubble, right? You brought that back with the knowing that it was going to affect next season. You knew this. So why are you not anticipating that? A delay to the season. A delay. NBA season shouldn't start until MLK. MLK Day in January.
Now,
and the thing is, it's not even that much further, but it just gives you more time. It gives you that much more time to rest. It gives you that much more time
about the number of games. So
that's my point.
And so we normally start in October, right? We start in October, end of October, and so by the time it's December 22nd or Christmas Day, we've almost been playing for 2 months, right? 2 months of basketball. So now you're going to take away 2 months and only subtract 10 games. You were going to squeeze 72 games into a shorter amount of time because you probably would only had 55 games left by Christmas or something like that. And now you got 72. So now your rate of playing is going to be higher than it would on a normal season. And we still in a pandemic.
Like I say, we still in the pandemic. So that make it see. Think about it. The moment that Lou Will got out the bubble, where he go? To the strip
Get
club.
them wings.
Lemon Pepper Lou. So you mean to tell me y'all gonna be traveling and they got access to go wherever they want to go in all these cities? And you mean to tell me that and we ain't got
I don't see Adam Silver rolling it out like that. There will have to be some type of guideline, or they're not gonna do the bubble this time, but I'm pretty sure it might be prospective bubbles.
You see how the NFL working, bro.
I just have more faith in the NBA to do better. I know they haven't laid out a plan and told us better than that, but they have a track record of being better. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
But this was a real NFL move right here.
This was
completely what it is.
This is an NFL move right here.
NFL just showed y'all, bro. Half of how many people got COVID yesterday for the 49ers? They were like, hey, look, we still playing on Thursday. They ain't even try to move it. They ain't even try to move it to Monday.
Bro, what I tell you? You can't move that Thursday night game.
You feel what I'm saying?
They're not gonna move that Thursday night game.
So bro,
because they don't have anything in place of it. So
exactly, because you can't push a team to move Thursday.
Oh, you're playing Thursday now, and so what they're not gonna do is have to reimburse all the ad companies who paid for advertisement space for this game. That's what we're not going to do. So, ergo, some people will just have to be on the list, and the rest of the team will have to show up.
And that's what they're going to be doing in the NBA.
I hope not, bro. Like I said, I have more faith. You heard it here from Cannon first. Cannon has more faith than Adam Silver to roll out a no restriction NBA season during the pandemic.
That shit ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna.
What did they say? That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
It damn sure ain't gonna work.
Because it's, I mean, like you said, you already done showed that money is the motivator, and I get it. Money was the motivator for y'all bringing back the bubble. But you had a clear cut.
But health.
You had a clear cut plan. Yeah, you had a clear cut plan. Now you all of a sudden like you basically saying, hey, COVID's over. No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
As much as I wish it was.
As much as everybody wishes that we're trying to get back to our regular life, but you can't say it.
We gotta hold on.
The moment you respect the pandemic, we can get over it.
Yeah. Nobody wants to respect it.
You can't just wish it out. You can't just speak it to it. Hey, it's over.
Well, shit.
But that's what they do.
Atlanta think it's over.
Yeah, man, AJ was talking about that. But you know what? Since the pandemic, I was talking to Ashley about this. I have never even been in a store with my nose exposed. Like, you know how you see some of the workers, like their nose be out. And no, anytime that I have left my residence to go somewhere around other people, I went to Hill's house for a little gathering, and Hill was like, you in the backyard doing something you ain't supposed to be doing? I said, no, I'm just in the backyard. He like, well, what you out here for? I said, social distancing. Like, I'm not playing, bro. Like, any store, any public place, I have been strapped up with my mask, and my mask has covered my nose and my mouth. So it's like, and so far, you know, knock on wood, I have been COVID free. So it's like, just respect the pandemic. Take your sanitizer, wash your hands when you come in and out of your crib. Wear your mask, bro, and don't be like you can't be in the places that, like, if you're gonna be around people, you're gonna get COVID, and it's simple mathematics.
Well, I'm just saying, how can the league that showed us the proper way to handle the pandemic?
And that's why I don't believe it. I think this is just preliminary agreement that we're gonna start then, but I think there's still details to be hashed out.
Okay. All righty.
These motherfuckers trying to get paid.
I mean, that's always the case. We ain't gonna never. That's why they ain't lead a bubble.
Wayne told us that.
But I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight, episode 85. You know, y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3 Man Weave. Instagram, Twitter, 3manweave_. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Shouts out to the YouTube viewership. Shouts out to the 3Man Weave Facebook group.
Rest in peace, King Von.
Rest in peace. We lost another one for no reason.
Fucking 2020, bro.
And I'm Hill. It's Cannon. It's AJ. We out.